Hello, and it's time for a commentary on Goku Black versus Reverse Flash. I'm Ben, voice of Wiz, joined of course by Chad. It's the boomstick.
I'm the other one. Hi.
Yep. And we've got Luis, lead animator director, of course.
It was me.
Hey, Luis.
Sorry. Hello.
Oh gosh, it's too early. Although I guess Flash is already on screen. And then the editor for this episode, it's Nick.
Hey, what's
Nick.
going on? How are you guys?
Welcome. Thanks for being here, guys.
All good.
Because we have one hell of an episode to talk about. One chunky, very complicated episode.
And a bit of a weird one.
Which always seems to happen when we jump into these high-tier DC characters. But, we also have, a freaking Goku. Not the Goku, but a Goku.
Just one of them.
Which is a whole can of worms, right? So there's so much
Go look at Dragon
going on
Ball
in this
Fighters. There are
episode.
like a goddamn million Gokus.
Yeah.
It's true.
Super Saiyan Goku, Base Goku, Goku Black, Super Saiyan Blue Goku, Kid Goku. Gohan's half a Goku. People have
Gosh,
taken-
imagine somebody who just heard of Dragon Ball and the first introduction of the characters is that roster, and they're like, "What's up with all the Gokus?"
Yeah, sorry. Am I playing the game Oops All Gokus? Like what?
Somebody on
Anyway,
Reddit went through and figured out, mathematically speaking, how many Gokus are in Dragon Ball Fighters. It's quite funny. I don't remember the number, but anyway, back to the episode.
Anyway, so Goku Black, this matchup. I've seen it requested before, but it wasn't really one that I was thinking might make for a great episode, because I was thinking if we bring back Goku Black, why don't we just do a Goku episode? But then I was talking to the researchers, and there's so many weird kind of twists and similarities with Goku Black and Reverse Flash, especially when it comes to the time travel aspect. And I hadn't really thought about that, mainly because I remember when I was looking through the Goku Black arc, or watching through it when it first came out, I had no freaking clue what was going on with the time travel. It is so all over the place.
What? No way.
Yeah, as time travel is wont to do. But that was actually one of the most interesting things, kind of diving into the research of this, is really locking down and really coming to an understanding of how Dragon Ball time travel and universe splitting happens, and how there are more universes than there are timelines, and
it's all kinds of whack. When Trunks time traveled, he wasn't just time traveling; he was universe hopping. It's cool. A little more. It's less straightforward than you thought it was in Dragon Ball Z.
The majority of alternate timelines in the Dragon Ball universe are a direct result of Bulma. And just her, creating a time machine.
All started when she shot a little kid in the face with a gun.
Yeah, I guess so.
How it all started.
I guess nobody else is building a time machine and making new timelines. I don't know. I guess it's just her across,
for now,
every single universe.
Well, everybody else just wants to kill Goku. She's she's the only one, the only family using their smarts for something besides that. It seems like.
That's true. That's true. Yes, but of course, Goku Black is a completely different than just a Goku. He is a Kai possessing the body of a Goku, or the Goku, but in the future Goku. One of the things we kind of mentioned in this is, there's obviously a lot of oh my god, sorry. The fact that one of his attacks is called the Azure Dragon Sword.
Yeah, that whole Yamcha
and the only other
and it's not
direct
blue.
reference to it. So the Azure Dragon Sword is just a type of sword, but the only other character in the series who has had one of them, it's Yamcha, and I think it's the big cat monster man that Goku beats up in the second episode of Dragon Ball. And I think those are the only examples of an Azure Dragon Sword. So
Wait,
naturally,
Yajirobe doesn't have one?
No, he's got a katana.
Yeah, I know. I'm just playing.
It's like a cutlass sort of thing. And it's so for some reason, Zamasu names his attack after Yamcha's sword, which is hilarious to me. I don't know. Maybe in his timeline,
Soon,
Yamcha's
Ben,
way cooler.
Soon all will bow before Lord Yamcha.
We haven't had Yamcha in a death battle. It would be very interesting. Like, maybe there's something we're missing with Yamcha, and we could explore.
You know
it.
he's going in the
But
hole.
either way.
Like, that's...
Oh, my God.
Win or lose, like even if he wins, he can come out of the hole. But
Yeah, he's going in the hole.
he puts the other person in the hole. Not to bring up Dragon Ball
my God,
Fighters
that
again,
would
but
be,
I
like,
loved how
fakes the same death.
if Yamcha beats Nappa in the right circumstances, it's the same pose, but Nappa's the one dead in the hole.
Yeah,
It's a fun little
that's
Easter egg they
amazing.
snuck in there.
Yeah. But now I kind of forgot what I was going to talk about. I think I was talking about like the different timelines and the shenanigans of like Goku Black not being able to be killed and whatnot, and like figuring out how the time ring works. And like this is one of those episodes where that's what it was. The stats of a character ultimately like are kind of meaningless in a way.
Sure.
Because both of them can certainly kill each other, but not permanently, and not even for more than a couple seconds, because they still exist somewhere else in time and can just time travel right back to the fight.
When we were voicing this,
which is
Ben was like, all right, hold on, I need to take a moment and explain this to you. Like, I was just like, what? All right.
It created such an interesting like back and forth in the research discussion, because it was like, okay, both of them can kill each other, no problem there, but who's going to be able to do it permanently first? That became the question, and that was ultimately like the deciding factor. And it kind of works out because like both of these characters also, it's kind of good that we don't have to rely on like who is the strongest or whatever, because it's kind of impossible to figure out for both of them. Like Reverse Flash is a Flash, so he can
Stupid
run
Speed
infinitely,
Force.
you know. Yeah. And Goku Black is a Goku from the future. Like it's kind of glossed over a little bit in the show, and we kind of talk about it in this episode, but it is very specifically pointed out that when Zamasu possesses Goku, he takes a version of Goku that's from a year in the future. And the majority of Dragon Ball Super, especially the Goku Black arc onward, takes place within a year. So we actually don't know how much stronger that Goku is. It could be like way stronger than like he could know Ultra Instinct is basically what I'm saying.
God, I hate Eobar's
Zamasu
face.
wouldn't know. Yeah, Zamasu wouldn't know how to unlock that. But it's entirely possible he possessed a version of Goku with Ultra Instinct.
Dang.
Yep.
So I've edited this entire thing, listened to the voiceover and all that stuff. I hadn't even considered that possibility. That's mind-blowing to me.
So did you have fun cutting out all of the very creepy Eobard faces that he makes, Nick?
Oh, dude.
I loved what you did with the explosions, Nick.
Thank you. So I'll point out the motion graphic when I see it, but there's one motion graphic that was an absolute nightmare to cut out. It's debatable if it was worth it, but I think it looks pretty nice.
Well, that one was really cool for like the shockwave.
So this
That was
motion
awesome.
graphic right here was the most accidentally sexual one I think I've ever done.
Oh, Nick!
So like when I'm doing motion graphics,
I wasn't sure if I should bring it up.
okay, fair enough. But like when I'm doing motion graphics, I take the comic books and stuff, and what I try to do, like you can see in this one right here with Batman, I try to just add a little bit of motion that's just kind of implied by a still frame, but like make it actually happen. So when Eobard's like flipping his arm around and stuff like that, like 1,000 miles an hour, I was like, oh, that's easy enough to do. I can do that. And it wasn't until I
move it
hit
up and
play when I was like, wait a minute. Hopefully,
Jacking it in the air.
faster than you. Faster than you.
Man, hopefully nobody noticed that and mentions it.
I mean, that's going to give you a friction burn. I'm just saying it.
Oh, God.
Jesus. Oh my God. I love what you did with Eobard's rundown here.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Eobard. But like, there's some fantastic, especially with like the speed, like really
Shaky
like
ass.
capturing the speed of some of these panels blasting like towards the camera and whatnot. Like it's super cool, and all the lightning effects and things like that.
Yeah, that was fun to do.
I think it's really
like,
cool to watch.
Yeah, those were fun to do because the comic book artists really like to draw flashes running at the camera. So I got to kind of do the same thing a couple of times. But I mean, I always loved how it looked. I think there's one where I put like a shockwave on it. Like as if it just runs toward the camera, then it goes like ultra slow motion, and that was one of my favorite ones to do. Somewhere around here, it's when it's another one of those shots.
I think we passed it, but there is another one where he's like running through the Speed Force.
Yeah,
up,
it's that's the nightmare one I was talking about though, where it took a bajillion years to cut it out. Like when you look at the lightning that around him that I had to cut out, and then all the stuff like inside that I had to cut holes into, you'll see it. And if you know anything about like masking, I think you'll appreciate the effort that I went through to make it happen.
For it to be on screen for about 6 frames. Like,
oh no! I copy pasted that son of a gun and posted it in the recap as well. You better believe I got some mileage out of it, as much as I could without it getting boring visually.
Hell yeah!
Have any of you guys watched the Flash TV show?
I watched
I actually have.
That one that was just on screen?
I haven't.
I thought the first season was like legitimately very good.
Did I watch the first season?
Yeah,
I don't even remember.
Yeah, I agree.
I recently kind of saw a clip of like the most recent season.
Yes, I saw that too.
Flash, Reverse Flash, and Godspeed, I think, using the Speed Force to create lightsaber like lightning lightsabers, and they had a lightsaber duel, and it looked like Power Rangers. It was very strange.
The clip I'm thinking of,
very different show nowadays.
If it's the clip I'm thinking of, I saw people comparing it directly to Power Rangers, and they showed us side by side, and honestly, depending on the Power Rangers clip, Power Rangers is like leagues above in terms of choreography and stuff.
Oh, jeez.
Like, yeah, like
for the lightsaber fight, definitely they were just kind of smacking at each other.
Oh, gotcha.
Which is, I mean, Power Rangers is known for their choreography, but yeah, it's kind of sad because I thought the show was really good.
For sure.
Back when it first came out, but either way, I
love the little effect there.
That's so good. God, our animators are so good.
Yeah.
I love just letting the team sort of be creative with that sort of stuff and just saying like, this is kind of what we had in mind.
Right here. This is a nightmare. So if you're watching this on Rooster Teeth or on YouTube, wherever this may be, go back and pause it and just look at how many holes I had to cut out of this really annoyingly shaped lighting, and just understand that there was like a whole bunch more that I was like, no, not worth it.
Yeah, I just imagine you watching this episode and being like, oh yeah, this looks so good, nightmare. Okay, good. Yeah, that's good.
yeah, pretty much.
I mean, that's how a lot of this kind of stuff works, right? Whether you're editing or writing or animating or modeling or whatever, you get this idea in your head and you start working on it. It's like, yeah, here we go. Oh no, this is gonna take like 15 hours.
Yeah.
Here we go. Trudge. And then you get to the end. It's like, yes, victory.
Yeah, and
I don't want to do it ever again.
Yeah,
the crazy thing about
that nightmare. Go ahead.
Go
Luis.
ahead. I was just gonna say that, like, real quick, like, just gonna say that, like, it's basically you work so hard on like those specific spots, and then like end up being like about like, you know, 2 seconds, 3 seconds long, and then you like, you know, you're done with it. You think it looks great, but like in the grand scheme of things, you think, oh, that was just like, it's gone. Yeah.
Nobody's gonna notice.
Don't ever try to outflight me again, Luis.
We'll try not to.
I just love it, man. All DC characters are like, what should we call this guy? Well, he's like Flash, but different. Reverse Flash. And they're like, yep, that's it. Go. Print it. Like,
yeah. I will say, before we worked on this episode, I thought, even with my knowledge of the comics and the shows and whatnot, I was never a really big Reverse Flash fan. Like, I couldn't really get into him, and I guess I just never really paid much attention. But like, really digging into his story and his own struggle with Flash, he's fascinating.
Oh yeah, no, I was the same way. Like when we went through the script, I was like, "Oh, this is a lot cooler of a character than I thought it was." He just has a stupid name.
Yeah, it's kind of a dumb name, but it makes sense. Like in context,
it's better than Eobard.
Well, I mean that I think that's the joke, right? Is that it's so far in the future that names are just dumb.
Yeah.
Like everything's just kind of really silly. And that kind of leads into his own like emotional struggle being like so absurd. Also, that was our storyboard artist.
I was just about to say.
Himself in the storyboard. And so that guy running across, like, he just drew himself into the storyboard just like a joke, like, ha, that's funny.
Hilarious.
And then I believe Zach was working on that shot, and he was like, I'm just going to build
Yeah,
this.
just add him in. Also, I just want to point out that at the
God!
yeah.
So this is my first time seeing the fight.
I just want to point out that at the beginning of the fight, Quicksilver was killed by Reverse Flash. Like that, when that was put in the script, I was like really, like I just like we gotta replicate that as accurate as possible when that happens in the fight.
Absolutely,
one of the most...
absolutely. It was. So there's a big, for a while, I can't remember when it happened, but there was a meme for Reverse Flash. It was the "It was me, Barry" meme, right? And it became really popular when an actor named Valentine Stokes.
I think it might have originated from that, but like it was like it's both.
It's both. It was a play off of it because there's a scene in one of the movies where he's like, "It was me, Barry." He has an "It was me, Barry" moment when there was a bunch of time travel shenanigans going on. It's one of the animated films, I think. And the Valentine Stokes made like a clip that got super popular on social media, and so we naturally were like, "Hey, let's see if we can get Stokes to voice Flash, and let's see if we can have an 'It was me' moment in the fight." And we did both of those things. So glad to have him there, and also Michael Kovac as Goku Black. Which I know there were some people wondering, like, if Moscow X was going to come back to voice Goku, because he was our Goku in Goku vs. Superman. And I think there's definitely... that was a little tricky, because I really wanted Lawrence to come back, because I think he's awesome, and he's a fantastic actor and a fantastic person. But there's definitely a difference in how we portrayed characters back then and now. I wanted to make sure it sounded like Goku from the series and not abridged Goku, if you know what I mean. Also, here's the scene. You guys recreated it like as if it was the exact same shot, right? Like that was that was so
crazy. It's man, like we were so excited to like get that as accurate as possible. And then like on top of that, like look how crazy this fight is. Like there's so many things happening.
It's
and
amazing.
I'm sure like this is one of those fights that like you can rewatch and you'll notice even more things because like there's so much stuff happening in the background.
Time ring, huh?
Honestly, one of my favorite little details was a couple seconds ago when Goku Black was flying super fast and just the outer layer of his costume was flapping around in the wind. That's one of my favorite little details. God, that throw was so monstrously brutal.
Look at this shot. That's so good.
It's such a good kill.
So good.
Perfect for a DC Dragon Ball fight, I think. And then they just blow up the sun.
Yeah. I mean, we've done. It's not our first rodeo with the sun.
I think we did joke about like, what if like Raiden's hat is still floating around in the sun. To go even further back.
Also, I'll just clarify real quick. Reverse Flash did escape that explosion because he can reverse. You know, he can just travel time. So, like, just want to make sure that
he can just pop out.
People, he didn't die alongside Goku Black. So if it wasn't like,
or he could have. I mean, frankly, he could have just stood there and died, and then just came back to life. Because that's how it works for him.
So ridiculous.
Getting our mileage
what
out of that
crazy
graphic.
Oh, we had to put that nightmare back in there.
Yeah.
Getting that mileage out of it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the movie that has the...
So it's drinking
the animated one.
tea.
Yeah.
If it's a Flash fight, you gotta have him loop the world at least once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We took a lot of like inspiration for this fight from the fight we did like last year's Sonic vs. Flash, and you know, like I feel like we kind of escalated the fight a lot more in terms of like just how you say that word? Just more damage basically around them, basically. And
yeah, we haven't talked about it yet, but there was definitely a theme of so when I look at these characters, I feel Reverse Flash in particular feels like he would fit very well in Invincible, you know, like a show like that.
Right.
And one of the things about Invincible that I kind of feel like was sort of intentional with the show is it feels like it's like that classic Justice League cartoon.
Like, you can tell who's a stand-in
leave the camera on a little too long, or they pan a little too far to the right, and you see all the collateral damage that's happening or would be happening in that sort of scenario. And so I wanted that sort of same feeling with this fight, where it was like these guys are Goku and Flash, but they do not give a shit about how their powers affect others. They are unleashed in a way. They may not necessarily be able to do all the things that Goku and Flash are capable of, which is one of the reasons why Goku Black doesn't win, because he's not Goku. But ultimately, like, I wanted to capture that idea of, like, they're going to be doing all this crazy shit, and then all this collateral damage is going to be happening just to the side, which is why there's so much happening right off the bat. And I love how it turned out.
Oh my god.
What is your favorite pun that you've done, Chad?
Dude, I don't even know. I don't even know. They all leave my brain.
There's been over 150 of them at this point.
I just say a bunch of them.
That's true.
That's why it's over 150.
That is true. Some of them never get heard.
Speaking of 150,
yeah.
That's the next episode, guys.
Heck yes.
It's happening. It's fucking happening. I can't believe we're here.
As somebody who...
Macho Man versus Kool-Aid Man, the wildest episode we've ever made.
I'm so glad I got to edit that one, too. It's a very different episode from any other that you guys have seen before, so look forward to that. Unless you are in the future.
Thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in to this commentary. We are so excited to have this episode out, and we are so freaking thrilled that the next episode is going to be one of the strangest, most bizarre, out of this world, just plain flat out
and
weirdest episodes we've ever done.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and it's a hell of a lot of fun. I just was like, let me pull up thesaurus.com. What are a bunch of different words for weird? Because it deserves a lot of them. All right, thank you so much. We will see you in the next episode.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode of Death Battle. If you're looking for something else to watch, Season 2 of Last Laugh is available right now on Rooster Teeth. It's a show all about contestants trying to make each other laugh, but everyone trying their hardest not to. If you laugh, you're out. Watch the first episode right now by clicking the video on the side.